Maya Johnson stood in front of Lincoln High School and took a deep breath. The large brick building looked scary to her. She had never been to a real high school before. Her whole life, she had learned at home with private teachers. But now, at 15 years old, she wanted to try something different. Maya was not like other kids. Her father was a famous movie star that everyone knew. His name was Mark Sinclair, but people called him by his movie name. He was in action movies where he drove fast cars and fought bad guys. Maya loved her dad, but she did not want people to know who he was. She wanted to make friends because they liked her, not because her dad was famous. That is why she used the name Johnson at school. Johnson was her middle name. Her real last name was the same as her dad, but she kept that secret. Only a few people at the school knew the truth about who her father really was. Maya walked through the front doors of the school. Students were everywhere. Some were talking by their lockers. Others were walking to class with heavy backpacks. The hallways were loud and busy. Maya felt nervous. She had never been around so many kids her own age at once. She looked at the paper in her hand. It had her class schedule and locker number on it. Her first class was English with Mrs. Roberts in room 204. Maya found the stairs and climbed to the second floor. She was wearing a simple blue shirt and jeans. She did not want to stand out or look different from the other students. Maya found room 204 and walked inside. Mrs. Roberts was a kind-looking woman with gray hair. She smiled when she saw Maya come in. "You must be Maya Johnson," Mrs. Roberts said. "Welcome to Lincoln High School. Please take a seat anywhere you like." Maya looked around the room. Most of the desks were full, but she found an empty one near the back. She sat down and put her backpack on the floor. The other students looked at her with curiosity. New students always got attention, especially in the middle of the school year. A girl with long brown hair turned around and smiled at Maya. "Hi, I am Jessica Martinez. Are you new here?" "Yes," Maya said quietly. "I just transferred from being homeschooled." "That must be different," Jessica said. "If you need help finding your other classes, I can help you." Maya felt grateful. Jessica seemed nice and friendly. Maybe making friends would not be as hard as she thought. When English class ended, Maya looked at her schedule again. Her next class was biology with Mr. Thompson. Jessica walked with her and showed her where the science wing was located. "The teachers here are mostly good," Jessica told her as they walked. "Just watch out for some of the older students. Some of them think they can pick on younger kids." Maya nodded. She hoped she would not have any problems. At home, she was used to peace and quiet. Her family had a big house with a nice yard. Her dad made sure she and her brothers and sisters felt safe and protected. But here at school, she would have to take care of herself. Biology class was interesting. Mr. Thompson explained how they would be learning about different animals and plants. Maya had always liked science. She raised her hand to answer a question about photosynthesis. Some students looked impressed that she knew the answer. After biology, Maya had lunch. This was the part she worried about most. Where would she sit? Who would she eat with? She got her lunch tray and looked around the cafeteria. There were so many tables with different groups of students. Jessica waved at her from across the room. Maya felt relieved and walked over to sit with Jessica and her friends. There was a boy named Michael who was in her English class, and a girl named Ashley who played on the soccer team. "So Maya, what do your parents do?" Ashley asked while eating her sandwich. Maya had prepared for this question. "My dad works in the entertainment business," she said. This was true, but she did not say what kind of entertainment work he did. "That sounds cool," Michael said. "Does he work at a movie theater or something?" "Something like that," Maya replied. She quickly changed the subject. "What about you guys? What do you like to do for fun?" The conversation moved to other topics. Maya learned that Jessica loved to paint, Michael played guitar, and Ashley wanted to become a doctor. They seemed like good people who would make good friends. After lunch, Maya had math and history classes. The teachers were nice, and the other students seemed normal. Maya started to feel more comfortable. Maybe regular high school would be okay, after all. At the end of the day, Maya walked to the parking lot where her driver was waiting. Her father had hired someone to pick her up and drop her off at school. The driver, Mr. Johnson, was a nice man who used to be a police officer. Maya trusted him and felt safe with him. "How was your first day, Maya?" Mr. Johnson asked as they drove home. "It was good," Maya said. "I think I will like it here. The students seem friendly and the classes are interesting." When Maya got home, her father was waiting for her in the kitchen. He was tall and strong, just like in his movies, but at home he was gentle and caring. "How did school go, sweetheart?" he asked, giving her a hug. "It went well, Dad. I made some friends and the teachers are nice. I think keeping my identity secret was the right choice." Her father smiled. "I am proud of you for being brave enough to try this. Just remember, if anyone gives you trouble, you can always tell me or the school counselor." Maya nodded. She felt lucky to have a dad who cared so much about her happiness and safety. She hoped that her time at Lincoln High School would be peaceful and normal. That night, Maya did her homework and got ready for her second day of school. She was excited to see Jessica and her other new friends again. She had no idea that in just a few weeks, her quiet high school experience would be turned upside down by someone who had no clue who her father really was. Maya fell asleep thinking about her new life as a regular high school student, unaware that trouble was already watching her from across the hallways of Lincoln High School. 3 weeks had passed since Maya started at Lincoln High School. She was getting used to her new routine. Every morning she woke up early, ate breakfast with her family, and rode to school with Mr. Johnson. She had made good friends with Jessica, Michael, and Ashley. Her grades were excellent, and most teachers liked her quiet, hard-working attitude. Maya felt happy about her choice to attend regular high school. She enjoyed learning alongside other students instead of being alone with a private teacher. During CE lunch, she laughed with her friends about funny things that happened in class. After school, she would tell her father about her day. Everything seemed perfect. But Maya did not know that someone had been watching her. Derek Thompson was 17 years old and in his senior year. He should have graduated 2 years ago, but he had failed classes twice. Derek was tall and strong, with short brown hair and angry eyes. Most students at Lincoln High School were afraid of him. Derek lived in a small apartment with his mother, who worked 2 jobs to pay the bills. His father had left when Derek was young. Derek was angry about many things in his life. He was angry about being older than other seniors. He was angry about his family having no money. He was angry about feeling stupid in class. When Derek felt angry, he took it out on other students. He liked to pick on kids who seemed different or weak. He had done this at his old school too until the principal expelled him. Derek thought younger students were easy targets because they would not fight back. Derek first noticed Maya in the hallway during his 3rd week at school. She was walking to her locker with books in her arms. Derek saw that she was quiet and kept to herself. She seemed like someone who would not cause trouble for him if he decided to bother her. Derek also noticed that Maya was one of the few black students at Lincoln High School. This gave him another reason to target her. Derek had grown up hearing racist ideas from some family members and friends. He thought these ideas made him better than other people, even though deep down he felt bad about himself. On a Tuesday morning, Derek decided to start bothering Maya. She was at her locker getting books for her first class when Derek walked up behind her. "Hey, new girl," Derek said in a mean voice. Maya turned around and saw a tall boy she did not recognize. He looked older than most students and had an angry expression on his face. "My name is Maya," she said politely. "I do not care what your name is," Derek said. "You think you are special because you are smart in class?" Maya felt confused. She had never talked to this boy before. Why was he being mean to her? "I am just trying to get to class," Maya said. She tried to walk around Derek, but he stepped in front of her. "Where do you think you are going?" Derek asked. "I am talking to you." Other students in the hallway saw what was happening, but they kept walking. They knew Derek's reputation and did not want to get involved. Maya felt scared, but she tried not to show it. "Please leave me alone," she said. Derek smiled in a mean way. "Please leave me alone," he repeated in a mocking voice. "You sound like you think you are better than everyone else." The warning bell rang, which meant students had 5 minutes to get to class. Maya used this chance to walk quickly away from Derek. He did not follow her, but she could feel him watching her as she went to English class. Maya's hands were shaking when she sat down in Mrs. Roberts' classroom. Jessica noticed that something was wrong. "Are you okay?" Jessica whispered. "Some older boy was mean to me at my locker," Maya whispered back. "I do not know why." Jessica looked worried. "What did he look like?" Maya described Derek to Jessica. Jessica's face went pale. "That sounds like Derek Thompson," Jessica said. "He is bad news. He picks on younger students all the time. You need to stay away from him." Maya felt her stomach turn. She had hoped this was just a one-time thing, but Jessica made it sound like Derek would bother her again. After English class, Maya walked carefully through the hallways. She looked around corners before turning them. She did not want to run into Derek again, but Derek was looking for her too. During lunch, Maya was sitting with her friends when Derek walked over to their table. All the students stopped talking when they saw him approaching. Well, Derek said loudly. "Look who thinks she can just ignore me." Maya felt all eyes in the cafeteria turn toward their table. Her friends looked scared. Maya wished she could disappear. "I was not ignoring you," Maya said quietly. "I just had to get to class." "You had to get to class," Derek repeated in his mocking voice again. "Let me guess. You are one of those scholarship kids who think school is so important." Maya did not understand what Derek meant about scholarships, but she could tell he was trying to embarrass her in front of everyone. "Maybe your family is so poor they cannot even afford to buy you decent clothes," Derek said, looking at Maya's simple outfit. This made Maya feel hurt and confused. Her family had more money than Derek could imagine, but she dressed simply on purpose. She did not want to look different from other students. "Leave her alone," Jessica said bravely. Derek turned his angry stare to Jessica. "Nobody asked you, Martinez. Mind your own business." Michael stood up from the table. "She said to leave Maya alone." Derek laughed. "What are you going to do about it, guitar boy?" A lunch supervisor, Mrs. Garcia, noticed the commotion and walked over to their table. "Is there a problem here?" Mrs. Garcia asked. "No problem," Derek said with a fake smile. "I was just welcoming the new student." Derek walked away, but before he left, he looked back at Maya. "See you around, scholarship girl," he said. Maya felt embarrassed and scared. The whole cafeteria had heard Derek call her names. She wanted to go home and forget about everything. "Do not let him get to you," Ashley said. "He is just jealous because you are smart and he is not." But Maya could not forget Derek's angry eyes and mean words. She spent the rest of lunch wondering why someone would be so cruel to a person they did not even know. That afternoon, Maya told her father what happened. Mark listened carefully, his jaw getting tighter as Maya described Derek's behavior. "Do you want me to talk to the school?" Mark asked. "No, Dad," Maya said quickly. "Please do not do anything yet. Maybe it will stop." But Maya had a feeling that this was just the beginning of her problems with Derek Thompson. She did not know how much worse things would get, or that Derek had no idea he was messing with the daughter of one of Hollywood's biggest action stars. After Derek's first encounter with Maya in the cafeteria, things got worse quickly. Maya had hoped that Derek would lose interest in bothering her, but she was wrong. Derek seemed to enjoy making her feel uncomfortable and scared. Every day became a challenge for Maya. She never knew when Derek would appear. Sometimes he would walk past her in the hallway and knock her books out of her hands. Other times he would make loud comments about her when she passed by. "Look, there goes the charity case," Derek would say to his friends when Maya walked to class. "I bet her family gets food stamps." Maya did not understand why Derek thought her family was poor. She dressed in simple clothes on purpose, but Derek took this as a sign that she could not afford better things. Maya's family actually lived in a huge house with a swimming pool and expensive cars, but Derek had no way of knowing this. The worst part was that Derek started using ugly words about Maya's race. When teachers were not around, he would call her terrible names that made Maya feel sick to her stomach. Other students heard these words but were too afraid of Derek to tell him to stop. Maya tried different ways to avoid Derek. She would take longer routes to class, even if it made her late. She started eating lunch in the library instead of the cafeteria. She would wait until most students left school before going to her locker, but Derek always seemed to find her. One day in biology class, Mr. Thompson assigned lab partners for a big project. Maya was paired with a nice boy named David who was good at science. They were supposed to study different types of plants and write a report together. Maya and David worked well together. Maya was smart, and David was creative. They spent their lab time looking at plant samples under microscopes and taking notes. Maya felt happy when she was busy with schoolwork because it helped her forget about Derek. But Derek was in the same biology class, even though he should have taken it 2 years ago. He sat in the back row and rarely paid attention. When he saw Maya and David working together and getting good results, it made him angry. After class, Derek cornered David by the science wing lockers. "Hey, David," Derek said in a threatening voice. "I hear you are working with the new girl on your project." David looked nervous. He knew Derek's reputation just like everyone else. "Yes, we are lab partners," David said quietly. "Well, I think you should find a different partner," Derek said. "Someone more like your own kind, if you know what I mean." David understood what Derek was saying, and it made him feel disgusted. But David was smaller than Derek and did not want to get hurt. "I cannot change partners now," David said. "Mr. Thompson already made the assignments." Derek grabbed David's shirt and pushed him against the lockers. "I am giving you good advice," Derek said. "Take it." David nodded quickly and Derek let him go. But David did not change partners. Instead, he told Maya what happened and said they should be extra careful around Derek. The harassment got worse during Maya's second month at Lincoln High School. Derek discovered that Maya bought her lunch with a school lunch account instead of bringing money from home. The school had given Maya this account as part of her enrollment, but Derek thought it meant her family was too poor to pack lunches. "Look, everybody," Derek announced loudly in the lunch line one day. "The scholarship girl cannot even afford to bring a sandwich from home." Maya felt her cheeks burn with embarrassment. Students in line turned to look at her. Some felt bad for her, but they were too scared of Derek to say anything. Maya tried to explain. "I just prefer to buy lunch here," she said. "Sure you do," Derek said with a mean laugh. "I bet your mom shops at thrift stores for your clothes too." This comment hurt Maya more than Derek knew. Her mother had died when Maya was very young, and her father had adopted her and loved her like his own daughter. Derek's comment about her mother made Maya feel angry for the first time since the harassment started. "Do not talk about my family," Maya said, louder than usual. Derek's eyes lit up. He liked seeing that he had made Maya upset. "Oh, did I hurt your feelings?" Derek asked in a fake sweet voice. "What are you going to do about it, charity girl?" Maya realized that standing up to Derek had been a mistake. It only encouraged him to be meaner. Things got even worse when Derek started spreading rumors about Maya around school. He told other students that Maya's family was on welfare and that she only got into Lincoln High School because of special programs for poor kids. "I heard she does not even have a dad," Derek told a group of students during lunch. "Her mom probably works as a maid or something." These lies spread quickly through the school. Some students believed them because they did not know Maya well enough to know the truth. Maya started noticing that some kids looked at her differently, like they felt sorry for her. Maya's grades began to suffer because she was so worried about Derek all the time. She had trouble concentrating in class because she kept looking over her shoulder to see if Derek was nearby. She started having bad dreams at night about being trapped in school hallways with Derek chasing her. Jessica, Michael, and Ashley tried to help Maya feel better, but there was only so much they could do. They were younger than Derek and scared of him too. "Maybe you should tell your dad what is really happening," Jessica suggested during one of their library lunches. "I do not want to worry him," Maya said. "He has important work to do." What Maya did not tell her friends was that she was afraid of what her father might do if he knew how bad things had gotten. Her father was protective of his family and did not like it when people hurt the people he loved. Maya also worried that if her father got involved, people at school might find out who he really was. Then she would never know if people liked her for herself or just because her dad was famous. So Maya kept suffering in silence, hoping that Derek would eventually get bored and leave her alone. She had no idea that Derek was just getting started, and that his next move would push things to a dangerous new level. Derek was planning something that would change everything for Maya. He thought he was just picking on a poor, helpless girl, with no family to protect her. He had no clue that Maya's father was one of the most famous action heroes in Hollywood, or that his harassment was about to bring serious consequences that Derek never saw coming. November came with cold weather and shorter days. Maya had been dealing with Derek's harassment for 2 months now. She was tired of being scared all the time. Her stomach hurt every morning when she thought about going to school. She had lost weight because she was too nervous to eat properly. Maya's father noticed that something was wrong with his daughter. She was quieter at dinner and did not smile as much as she used to. When he asked her about school, Maya would just say everything was fine. But Mark could tell she was not telling him the truth. Derek's behavior was getting worse every week. He had started following Maya around school more often. He would wait outside her classrooms and make threatening gestures when she came out. Sometimes he would whisper ugly words in her ear when he walked past her in the hallway. "You better watch yourself, girl," Derek would say quietly so only Maya could hear. "Nobody cares about someone like you." Maya felt more alone than ever. She loved her friends Jessica, Michael, and Ashley, but she could see that they were scared of Derek too. They tried to stay with her when they could, but they all had different classes and could not protect her all the time. The breaking point came on a cold Tuesday afternoon in early November. Maya had stayed after school to work on her biology project in the library. She wanted to get extra research done because her partnership with David was going so well. When she finished, most of the other students had already gone home. Maya walked out to the parking lot where Mr. Johnson was supposed to pick her up. But Mr. Johnson was running late because of traffic problems across town. Maya stood by herself near the school entrance, checking her phone and hoping her ride would arrive soon. That was when Derek appeared. Derek had been waiting for a chance to get Maya alone. He had seen her stay after school before, and today, he decided to follow her outside. Derek walked up behind Maya while she was looking at her phone. Well, Derek said. "Look who is all alone." Maya spun around and saw Derek standing too close to her. Her heart started beating fast. There were no teachers around and only a few students were left in the parking lot. "My ride will be here soon," Maya said, trying to sound brave. "I do not think so," Derek said with a mean smile. "I think you and I need to have a talk." Maya tried to walk away, but Derek grabbed her arm. His grip was strong and painful. "Let go of me," Maya said. "Not until you listen," Derek said. He pushed Maya backwards until she was against a car. "I am tired of you thinking you are better than everyone else." "I do not think that," Maya said. She was scared now and her voice was shaking. "Yes, you do," Derek said. His face was close to hers, and she could smell his angry breath. "You walk around here like you own the place. You think because you get good grades that makes you special." Derek pressed Maya harder against the car. She felt trapped and frightened. "You are nothing but a poor little black girl whose family cannot even take care of her," Derek said. He was using the worst racial words he could think of. "Nobody wants you here. Nobody cares about you." Maya started to cry. Derek's words hurt deeply, but she was also terrified of what he might do to her physically. "Please stop," Maya begged, but Derek was not finished. He grabbed Maya's backpack and threw it hard into a nearby trash can, her books and papers scattered everywhere. "This is what I think of you and your stupid homework," Derek said. Then Derek pushed Maya again, this time hard enough that she fell down on the cold pavement. Her hands got scraped and her shirt got torn. "Next time I tell you to do something, you better listen," Derek said, standing over her, "because nobody is going to help someone like you." Maya was crying and bleeding from her scraped hands. She felt more scared and helpless than she had ever felt in her life. Derek started to walk away, but then he turned back. "And if you tell anyone about this, it will be much worse next time," he threatened. What Derek did not know was that a student named Carlos had been in the parking lot and saw the whole thing happen. Carlos was afraid of Derek, just like everyone else, but he had his phone with him. Carlos recorded the last part of Derek's attack on Maya, including the racial slurs and threats. After Derek left, Carlos ran over to help Maya. He helped her stand up and collected her scattered books and papers. "Are you okay?" Carlos asked. Maya was shaking and could barely speak. "Please do not tell anyone," she whispered. "But this is not right," Carlos said. "Derek hurt you. Someone needs to know about this." Just then, Mr. Johnson arrived to pick up Maya. When he saw Maya's torn clothes and scraped hands, he knew something terrible had happened. "Maya, what happened to you?" Mr. Johnson asked with concern. Maya did not want to lie to Mr. Johnson, but she was too scared and upset to explain everything. "I fell down," Maya said weakly. Mr. Johnson could tell this was not the whole truth. But he helped Maya into the car and drove her home quickly. When Maya arrived home, her father was in the kitchen making dinner. When he saw his daughter's condition, his face went white with shock and then red with anger. "Maya, who did this to you?" Mark asked in a serious voice that Maya had never heard before. Maya could not keep lying anymore. She broke down crying and told her father everything that had been happening. She told him about Derek's daily harassment, the racial slurs, the rumors, and finally about what happened in the parking lot. Mark listened to every word, his hands clenched into fists. When Maya finished talking, Mark hugged her tightly. "I am so sorry this happened to you," Mark said, "but I promise you this ends now." Maya looked up at her father with tears in her eyes. "But Dad, if you get involved, everyone will know who you are. Then people will treat me differently for the wrong reasons." Mark looked at his daughter with love and determination. "Sweetheart, some things are more important than keeping secrets. Your safety and dignity matter more than anything else. Derek Thompson has no idea what he has just brought on himself." That night, Maya finally slept peacefully for the first time in months. She knew her father would protect her. But Derek Thompson was about to learn a lesson he would never forget about what happens when you mess with the wrong family. The next morning, Mark did not send Maya to school. Instead, he made phone calls to people who could help him handle Derek Thompson the right way. Mark was angry, but he was also smart. He knew that just confronting Derek would not solve the real problem. Mark called his lawyer, a woman named Sandra Rodriguez, who had helped his family with legal matters for many years. Sandra was tough and experienced with cases involving harassment and hate crimes. "Mark, what Maya experienced is not just bullying," Sandra explained during their phone call. "When someone uses racial slurs and makes threats based on race, that becomes a hate crime. This Derek kid could face serious criminal charges." Mark also hired a private investigator named Tom Wilson. Tom used to work for the police and was very good at finding information about people. Mark wanted to know everything about Derek Thompson before taking any action. "I will find out Derek's history, his family situation, and whether he has done this kind of thing before," Tom promised. While the adults worked on building a case, Maya stayed home and tried to recover from her scary experience. Her father made sure she felt safe and loved. Maya's siblings, who also lived in the house, were angry when they heard what happened to their sister. "Dad, just let me and my friends have a talk with this Derek guy," said Maya's older brother Jake. "No," Mark said firmly. "We are going to handle this the legal way. Derek will face consequences, but we will do it right." Tom Wilson worked fast. Within 2 days, he had gathered a lot of information about Derek Thompson. What he found made Mark even more angry. Derek had been expelled from his previous school for bullying and fighting. He had been arrested twice as a juvenile, once for assault and once for vandalizing property with racist graffiti. Derek's family had moved to a new district so Derek could get a fresh start at Lincoln High School. "This kid has a pattern," Tom reported to Mark. "He targets minority students specifically. At his old school, he bullied a Hispanic boy so badly that the kid had to transfer schools." Tom also found something else important. The student Carlos, who had witnessed Derek's attack on Maya, had posted the video online. The video clearly showed Derek pushing Maya, using racial slurs, and threatening her. Sandra Rodriguez watched the video and smiled grimly. "This is excellent evidence," she said. "Derek incriminated himself completely." Sandra contacted Lincoln High School and requested a formal meeting with the principal, Dr. Williams, and the school board. She did not yet tell them who Maya's father was, but she made it clear that they were dealing with a serious legal matter. Meanwhile, Maya felt nervous about missing school. She worried that Derek might think he had scared her away for good. She also missed her friends, Jessica, Michael, and Ashley. Mark arranged for Maya's friends to visit her at home. When Jessica, Michael, and Ashley arrived at the Sinclair family's huge house, they were amazed. The house was like a mansion with expensive cars in the driveway and beautiful decorations everywhere. "Maya, your house is incredible," Ashley said, with wide eyes. "Why did you tell us your family did not have much money?" Michael asked, confused. Maya felt embarrassed. "I never said we were poor. Derek just assumed that because I dressed simply and bought school lunch." Jessica was the first to understand. "Maya, who is your father really?" Maya looked at her friends and decided it was time to tell them the truth. "My father is Mark Sinclair. You probably know him by his movie name." Her friends' mouths fell open when Maya told them her father's famous movie name. They had seen his action movies many times. "That is why you wanted to keep your identity secret," Michael realized. "You wanted people to like you for yourself." "But Maya," Ashley said, "this changes everything. Derek has no idea who he messed with." On Thursday, Sandra Rodriguez, Tom Wilson, and Mark went to Lincoln High School for the formal meeting. Dr. Williams and several school board members were present. Sandra presented all the evidence they had gathered about Derek's harassment. "This student has been subjected to months of racial harassment, threats, and finally physical assault," Sandra explained. "We have video evidence, witness statements, and documentation of the perpetrator's previous similar behavior." Dr. Williams looked shocked as he watched the video of Derek attacking Maya. "This is terrible. We had no idea the situation was this serious." "The school failed to protect my client," Sandra said firmly. Despite receiving at least one report about Derek's harassment, no meaningful action was taken. Then Sandra revealed the information that changed everything. "I think it is important for you to know that the victim in this case is Maya Sinclair, the daughter of Mark Sinclair." Dr. Williams and the school board members recognized the famous name immediately. They realized they were dealing with a high-profile family who had the resources to take serious legal action. "Mr. Sinclair has been very patient and has tried to respect his daughter's privacy," Sandra continued. "But Derek Thompson's behavior has escalated to criminal activity. We are prepared to pursue both criminal charges and a civil lawsuit against the school district." Mark spoke for the first time during the meeting. "I sent my daughter to your school because she wanted a normal high school experience. Instead, she was terrorized by a known bully with a history of hate crimes. This is unacceptable." Dr. Williams was sweating now. He knew that this case could become a major news story and bring negative attention to the entire school district. "What do you want us to do?" Dr. Williams asked. "First, Derek Thompson needs to be arrested and expelled immediately," Sandra said. "Second, the school needs to implement better policies to protect students from harassment. Third, we want compensation for the trauma Maya has suffered," the school board members whispered among themselves. They knew they were in serious trouble. "We will cooperate fully with law enforcement," Dr. Williams promised. "Derek Thompson will be expelled today and we will review all our anti-bullying policies." After the meeting, Sandra called the police. Detective Lisa Martinez arrived at Lincoln High School with an arrest warrant for Derek Thompson. Derek was in his math class when police officers came to get him. He thought they were there about some minor trouble he had caused over the weekend. Derek had no idea that his harassment of Maya had led to serious criminal charges. "Derek Thompson, you are under arrest for assault, harassment, and committing a hate crime," Detective Martinez said as she put handcuffs on Derek. Derek's classmates watched in shock as he was led out of the school in handcuffs. Word spread quickly through Lincoln High School that Derek had been arrested for attacking Maya. It was only then that Derek learned who Maya really was. When Detective Martinez read him the charges, she referred to the victim as Maya Sinclair, daughter of actor Mark Sinclair. Derek's face went pale. He realized he had been bullying the daughter of one of Hollywood's biggest action stars. Derek finally understood that he had made the biggest mistake of his life. The news of Derek's arrest spread beyond the school. Local news stations picked up the story about the famous actor's daughter being bullied and assaulted. Maya's name was kept private because she was a minor, but everyone knew which family was involved. Mark released a statement to the media. No child should have to endure racial harassment and violence at school. We hope Derek Thompson's arrest sends a message that this behavior will not be tolerated. Derek Thompson sat in a jail cell, finally realizing that his actions had serious consequences. He had thought Maya was just a poor, helpless girl with no one to protect her. Now he knew he had attacked the daughter of a man who had the power and resources to make sure justice was served. Maya felt relieved that Derek could no longer hurt her, but she also felt sad that her secret was now public knowledge. When she returned to school the next week, she would have to deal with being known as a celebrity's daughter instead of just Maya Johnson, the quiet girl who liked science class. Derek Thompson's legal troubles were just beginning. After spending a night in juvenile detention, he appeared in court with his mother and a public defender. The judge looked serious as she read the charges against Derek. Derek Thompson, you are charged with assault in the 3rd degree, harassment in the 1st degree, and committing a hate crime, Judge Patricia Hayes announced. These are serious charges that could result in jail time and a permanent criminal record. Derek's mother, Susan Thompson, cried quietly in the courtroom. She worked 2 jobs as a cleaning lady and a waitress to support Derek and his younger sister. Susan had tried her best to raise Derek right, but she was often too tired and busy to notice his anger and racist attitudes. Your Honor, my son made a terrible mistake, Susan said through her tears. We cannot afford a private lawyer. Derek has had a hard life, but that is no excuse for what he did. The judge was not impressed by Derek's sob story. She had seen too many cases where bullies tried to get sympathy by talking about their difficult backgrounds. Derek Thompson, you are 17 years old, Judge Hayes said sternly. You are old enough to know that attacking someone because of their race is wrong. You are also old enough to face adult consequences for your actions. Derek's public defender, a tired-looking man named Robert Chen, tried to negotiate a plea deal, but the prosecutor, District Attorney Maria Santos, was not interested in being lenient. This defendant has a pattern of targeting minority students, Dia Santos explained to the judge. He was expelled from his previous school for similar behavior. He needs to face serious consequences to protect other students and send a message that hate crimes will not be tolerated. The judge agreed. Derek was sentenced to 6 months in juvenile detention, followed by 2 years of probation. He would also have to perform 200 hours of community service working with organizations that promoted racial understanding. Derek was required to attend anger management classes and counseling sessions about racism. If you violate your probation in any way, Judge Hayes warned Derek, you will serve the remainder of your sentence in adult prison. Derek's case became famous on social media and news websites. The video that Carlos had recorded showing Derek attacking Maya was viewed millions of times. People across the country were outraged by Derek's racist language and violent behavior. Many people posted comments supporting Maya and her family, but Derek also received hate mail and death threats from angry strangers. Derek learned that being the villain in a famous story came with its own serious consequences. At Lincoln High School, things changed quickly after Derek's arrest. Dr. Williams and the school board implemented new policies to prevent bullying and harassment. They hired additional counselors and created a system for students to report problems anonymously. The school also started a diversity education program. Students would learn about different cultures and the harmful effects of racism and bullying. Teachers received training on how to recognize and stop harassment before it escalated. We failed Maya Sinclair and other students who were bullied, Dr. Williams admitted in a school assembly. We promise to do better in the future. Maya's return to school was difficult at first. Now that everyone knew her father was a famous actor, students treated her differently. Some kids suddenly wanted to be her friend, hoping to meet her celebrity father. Others felt intimidated and stayed away from her. I knew this would happen, Maya told Jessica during lunch. Now I will. Never know who really likes me for myself. We liked you before we knew about your dad, Jessica reminded her. Michael, Ashley, and I are your real friends. Maya's true friends stayed loyal to her. They helped protect her from students who only wanted to get close to her because of her fame. Maya learned to tell the difference between people who cared about her and people who just wanted to use her. Carlos, the student who had recorded Derek's attack, became a hero at Lincoln High School. Other students praised him for being brave enough to document Derek's crime. Carlos's video evidence had been crucial in getting Derek convicted. "I was scared of Derek too," Carlos admitted, "but I knew what he was doing to Maya was wrong. I'm glad I helped stop him." Maya's father, Mark, was proud of how his daughter handled the situation. Maya had shown courage by eventually speaking up about Derek's harassment. She had also shown maturity by asking her father to handle things through legal channels instead of violence. Mark used his fame and resources to start a foundation called the Maya Johnson Foundation. The foundation helped schools create better anti-bullying programs and supported young victims of hate crimes. Maya chose to use her middle name for the foundation to maintain some privacy. Maya experienced something that thousands of kids face every day, Mark explained at a press conference. "Most of those kids do not have famous parents to help them fight back. Our foundation will help level the playing field." The foundation raised millions of dollars and helped change bullying policies at schools across the country. Maya became a spokesperson for the foundation, sharing her story at conferences and events. She found that helping other bullied students made her feel better about her own painful experience. Derek Thompson served his full sentence in juvenile detention. The experience was hard for him, but it also gave him time to think about what he had done wrong. Derek attended counseling sessions where he learned about the history of racism and how his words and actions had hurt Maya. "I never thought about how Maya felt when I called her those names," Derek admitted to his counselor. "I was angry about my own life and I took it out on someone who did not deserve it." Derek's mother, Susan, also attended some of the counseling sessions. She learned that she needed to pay more attention to Derek's attitudes and behavior. Susan realized that working all the time to pay bills was important, but raising her children properly was even more important. When Derek was released from detention, he had to complete his community service at a community center that served mostly minority families. Derek helped serve meals to homeless people and assisted with children's programs. The work was humbling and helped Derek understand that people of all races deserved respect and kindness. Derek never returned to Lincoln High School. He earned his diploma through a program for at-risk youth and then enrolled in community college. Derek studied social work, hoping that someday he could help prevent other young people from making the same mistakes he had made. Maya graduated from Lincoln High School with honors 3 years later. She was accepted to several excellent colleges and decided to study criminal justice. Maya wanted to become a prosecutor like D.A. Santos, helping to protect victims of hate crimes and bullying. "Derek Thompson changed my life, but not in the way he intended," Maya said in her graduation speech. "His cruelty taught me that I want to spend my life fighting for people who cannot fight for themselves." Maya stayed in touch with her friends, Jessica, Michael, and Ashley, throughout high school and college. They remained close because their friendship was based on genuine care and shared experiences, not fame or money. Years later, Derek sent Maya a letter apologizing for how he had treated her. Maya chose not to respond to the letter, but she was glad to hear that Derek had changed his life and was trying to help other young people avoid making his mistakes. The case of Derek Thompson versus Maya Sinclair became a landmark example of how celebrities could use their influence to fight bullying and racism. Legal experts studied the case in law schools, and educators used it as an example of why schools needed strong anti-bullying policies. Maya's story showed that even famous families were not immune to the problems of racism and bullying. But it also showed that with courage, determination, and the right legal help, victims could fight back and create positive change. Derek learned that actions have consequences, especially when those actions involve hate and violence. His brief moment of bullying a girl he thought was helpless had changed the course of his entire life. Most importantly, Maya proved that a person's worth is not determined by their family's wealth or fame, but by their character and how they treat others. She had wanted to be judged for herself, and in the end, that is exactly what happened.